Well, it's getting to be that time of year when bass anglers all over are planning their upcoming trips. I have not done any destinations video yet in the last couple years, and I get asked all the time, Steve, where should I plan a vacation? Where should I go? And as bass anglers, we're always looking for those places where those 50 to 100 fish days are a possibility at any given point, and I've got 3 of them that I want to share with you today. Now, I have been blessed to fish all over the country and fish some of the very best bass fisheries there are, but I haven't been to all of them. So if you have one that you would like to add to this list, make sure you do so down in the comments. I can't wait to see what is on your list as well. The first one that I want to talk about is the Upper Mississippi River, specifically pools 7, 8, and 9. There is a major reason that all the big tours go there quite often, and that is because it is that good. Back when I was doing television, this was the place where I would go when a sponsor would call up and say, hey, I need a show done on this lure. That's where I could go, because I know it would get done. I would even go up there and film 2 and 3 shows in one day, which is just crazy, unheard of in the fishing television world. And the nice thing about this location, no matter what you like to do, there is a place up here that it will work. Whether you like frog fishing or swim jig fishing, flipping jigs, you can drop shot up here, wacky rig, anything that you want to do, there's going to be a place to do it on the Upper Mississippi. Now, if you'd like some more information about how to specifically fish it, I do have an article on my website, thebassfishinglife.com. Up in the corner where you see the little search icon, just put bass fishing the Upper Mississippi River and that article will come right up. Now, this is a big river system with lots of backwaters and sloughs, so it may take you a few hours to go ahead and get something figured out. That is okay. The river is always changing. But this is one of these locations where fish can get stacked up. It is the only place that I have ever been where me and 2 other people in the boat, we're catching triple after triple after triple on hollow body frogs. I will never, ever forget it. So that is definitely worth the effort if you have not been there. My next one is the Boundary Waters Canoe area. So it sits between Minnesota and Canada, specifically up there in the wedge is what they call it. Now, this is a canoe access area and you do have to plan ahead and get some permits, but it is worth the time, worth the effort. I think there are fish up here that have never, ever, ever seen artificial lures, and they hit like they've never seen them before. Even when you're fishing out of a canoe where you can't really, motor around all over the lake and do not have electronics, it doesn't matter. You're going to have a tremendous day. Now, my favorite time of year to go up there is late summer and then into the early fall, after the spawn is already finished, and you may be wondering why. Well, it's real simple. After those smallmouth and largemouth have pulled off the shoreline, they get into those offshore summer hangouts. I'm talking big weed beds and rock piles. You find some of those offshore in the summertime, I promise you, you are going to have a catch fest. There will be a ton of fish stacked up out there. And it's not that hard to find them. The water is so clear, just keep paddling away till you find one of those weed beds or rock piles, start casting. The only thing I use is tubes. That's it. Just hollow body tubes with an insert tube head, and that's all I have ever needed. When you're canoeing, you obviously can't take your entire boat's worth of tackle, so keep it simple and have an absolutely amazing trip. And the third one on my list is Lake Champlain. Right there, cuts the borders between New York and Vermont. This place is a fish factory for both smallmouth and largemouth. The very first time I was there was for a tournament, and I was just catching loads of 3-pound smallmouth, and I thought, oh man, I've got to check easy. I'm going to make that top 50 cut, no problem. I finished something like 77th or 78th place. That is how good this fishery is. As a young tournament angler, I needed to say, hey, 3-pound smallmouth, not good enough. I have to go find a school of better fish. And the largemouth fishery here is absolutely phenomenal as well. You want to catch the largemouth, get up in those weeds, shallower into the shoreline, the smallmouth. I usually catch them on that outside weed line, but your traditional smallmouth hangouts, rocky points and stuff, you're just going to catch a whole bunch of fish, and the area is absolutely beautiful. Now, like I mentioned before, if there's one of them that you want to add to our list, go ahead and drop it down in the comments below. And hey, if you'd like to watch a video about some of those tough days on where bass position themselves after a cold front, go ahead and check this one out right here. And make sure you go out and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.